give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome, episode 19. 19, yes.
19.
Nearly at another special episode.
Hell.
So,
19.
yeah, good, nice little surprise we have coming the next one, which will be nice for all the listeners.
Should we just tell them?
No,
because
okay.
Why?
Well, you can, I suppose, yeah.
Why
Okay.
can't we just? Because otherwise they're just going to be like.
Why have we listen now? We just wait till
Yeah.
2 weeks' time. All right,
Exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. We've got David, Black City David, is officially like popping his fuel for my fire cherry and coming on the podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Probably do a bit of similar to John. Probably do a bit more of like a long form.
Yep.
Interview with him, have a chat about everything Black City related and also some personal stuff, and just have a general bants.
Should be good. Look forward to
Black
it.
City bants. Black City Records.
Black City Records.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are. Gryphon again, obviously. Where else would we be?
Yeah.
I feel like I've got upgraded now because I've now got a cool tankard. That's
Oh,
going to
you do,
live
yes.
behind the bar.
Yeah,
So
you
that's-
instantly came in and showed it off.
yeah, because why wouldn't I? It's awesome.
It is awesome.
For the listeners,
officially
it's
joined.
black. It was handmade for me by one of my friends, and it's got a heap of skulls in it. And it's going to live in the Gryphon. It's made specially for it. It's even got my name carved into it, so you know.
What's your name?
I don't know. Who am I again? Jen, do you want to?
Is it family?
Oh God, how have we not
I
got it?
believe in Tom Felvey.
There we go. Yeah, listeners, I walked up here and I got Sancta. People believe in me now, so you know. So yeah, I'm here.
Those who know, don't worry, we will have WrestleMania talking a bit. We'll have
On this
WrestleMania
heavy metal
corner.
Bristol podcast.
Yeah,
yes,
and WrestleMania. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with that. Kerry King was there. We have to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean that's okay.
It
I'll give you
officially
that.
makes it into the news section. You know.
So yeah, we've full crew here. Obviously, Teo's here. In case you didn't hear your lovely voice.
Hello.
Oh, that sounded very depressed.
I don't know why that came out like that.
Oh, hello. I have to do this again. You
Shit
fucking
again, 19
arsehole.
times. Fucking hell. No. Jokes. Yeah, here. Girl Boy Goth tattooing. Still here. Still going strong.
Oh, you didn't say your famous line.
What?
Still here, still queer.
That's not my famous line.
It's becoming a
Famous
famous
line
line.
is the reality is.
No, my famous line is still heavily tattooed, still mentally ill. Thank you very much.
If you came back with less tattoos, that would be weird.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What?
Because you said you're still heavily tattooed.
Yeah.
So you're not going
Yeah,
to remove
so
something, are you?
What? Okay, you're getting to in the weeds. You're getting to in the weeds. Introduce Jen again.
Welcome, Jen. Jen's here as well.
No, thank you for having me again.
Well, you're part of the furniture with us now,
Part of
so
the furniture, love it. Part of ship, part of the crew.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've done us well so far as well. All the socials are coming alive, so thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, obviously Danny's here with us, making sure we don't run over time and chat too much shit about wrestling and.
No, Tom.
Oh, you mean Bristol heavy metal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've mentioned it a few times. Shall we just start there?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get the wrestling spiel out of here.
Oh, yeah. So, me, Danny, and Jen have all at this point watched all the WrestleMania stuff. By the way, this comes out 2 weeks after we've recorded this, so I guess spoiler warning in case you haven't watched WrestleMania yet. I mean, I don't know what you're doing if you haven't. But yeah, I mean, some cool metal stuff. Kerry King was there playing.
Yeah.
Just remember in one of the very early episodes you said about him doing Damian Priest's theme song. Intro, and he was there at WrestleMania.
Was he the only one that appeared for any of the stars, or was it?
Did anyone else have a live thing? I don't think they
Yes,
did.
CM Punk did.
CM Punk did, didn't
Yes.
he? Yeah. He had when he came out. Yeah, it was a bit of a mixed bag. Like we kind of me and Danny is interesting. Me and Danny are kind of opposites. I thought day one of WrestleMania was a bit lackluster, and then day two picked up, and you thought the other way
It's
around.
a 2-day thing now.
So it's like 9 hours of wrestling now.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's long. It's long. Obviously, it's the first Netflix one as well, so
Right.
it's quite interesting. Some of the obviously some of the ways that they're still having to figure out some of this advertising stuff, because obviously wrestling being on Netflix has now meant that they can sneak in adverts because they kind of have to.
I thought they were able to do that before anyway, no?
Well, you know, they've not officially put adverts on Netflix, but now they kind of have in the back
Right.
door. Well, they've at least put the adverts that are on the wrestling on there. Though I noticed there was one advert they cut out completely. You noticed that they suddenly pulled away and cut the mics of because the announcers do lots of ad talk as well, because it's American stuff,
Yeah.
you know, it's advertisements.
Try to sell you everything that they can.
All the time, forever, constantly in your face. You know, it is interesting watching like an American spectacle like that, because you do forget like how. One, I just don't watch that much terrestrial television anymore anyway, so I don't really deal with adverts. But it's like the way that American television like advertises is absolutely insane.
It's got to be difficult for some in America, so like everything's just thrown at your face the whole time.
I think they just get used to it. I think that's the problem. They're just used to it.
It's usually like pills for stuff. It's like, do you have a pain in your toe?
Yeah.
Well, we can give you this pill.
Yeah,
Get rid of the pain in your
yeah.
toe, but it might give you constipation.
Yeah.
Which we have a pill for.
Yeah,
Like, it's just
Also,
nonsense.
it's like I think the weirder one was like the video game times, wasn't there? Because like the Raiders came out and they were dressed as like Clash of Clans characters. The one that kind of worked was Drew McIntyre coming out kind of pseudo dressed as Doom guy from Doom, because there's a new Doom game coming out.
Oh, new Doom. Well,
Is there?
Doom soundtrack's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah,
That's happening in Bristol soonish.
yes, I got
Yes,
a
we
ticket
got
for it. I got a
tickets.
ticket. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're doing a night
like a Doom night. It's not the official guy, but
Yeah.
they're doing like a Doom.
the
night,
music from
basically.
Doom rather than
Yeah.
a Doom band.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty soon, isn't it? I need to look at that actually. I've forgotten when
Yeah,
that
we
is.
should put
like
that in
next
the
month. I
calendar.
think it is in the calendar. I just keep forgetting to look at it properly. But yeah, no, wrestling was fun. You know, heel John Cena's great. Enjoying that a lot. You know, enjoying Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's always the best.
Paul Heyman.
That's
Loving the
such a
Paul
bad
Heyman
name.
twists and turns. But yeah, it was good. Good wrestling. Good wrestling.
Good.
Yeah.
I do want to say actually, with the Kerry King thing, at one point it did look like they turned him down because he was really going it, like chugging and like going quite
Yeah.
quick, but it wasn't matching up to the music.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm.
I don't know. I mean, live stadium stuff is always difficult. Like, remember when I was talking about the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show? A Super Bowl halftime show thing forever has always been that it's too quiet. They can never seem to quite level the live music in these huge. Because we're talking like the America, we're like, oh, a stadium.
80,000
No, I mean
people
like
stadium.
80,000 people, like fucking American football stadium is
Yeah.
very different from, I guess, what we're used to. So they always seem to struggle to. I think you're right though. Also, yeah, didn't know Kerry King was 5'5". Yeah, when Damien
Chains
Priest
over the
came
years
walking out.
have
I
weighed
know.
him down.
Well, he's the same height as me, so there you go. I always just presumed he was massive.
I mean, he does wear platforms while he used to,
I
on
mean,
stage and stuff,
well,
so...
yeah. I just always, just presumed he was like really tall for some reason. But yeah.
I look forward to that gig, actually, in Cardiff. This would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to go. I just wish the tickets were £100.
Yeah, but it is a lot of bands, though.
I know it's a lot of bands, but I still wish the tickets were £100.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not £100 for just Slayer, though.
Yeah, true. I mean, there is some really good stuff. Like, then some of it I'm seeing at Bloodstock, some Mastodon or at Bloodstock. Hatebreed are the one that I really want to see, and I'm gutted they're not at Bloodstock.
I thought Neckbreaker would be up there for you.
No Breaker 2, but they're a newer band. But like, Hatebreed for me as well. It'd be cool to see. I don't know. It'd be nice to go, but I don't have a spare £100 knocking around on the sofa cushions at the moment.
Yeah. I think it's 50% sold out already.
Yeah.
Is that it? I thought we just sold out more.
No, it's because it's £100 a ticket.
Well, yeah.
Well, the way Bloodstock's going, you think that would have sold
Yeah,
out.
but
as well.
a lot of people probably spent their extra money on Bloodstock, didn't they,
No.
this year, rather than on.
On Bloodstock, it's only the Sunday. It's
Yeah.
got some day tickets available. He
True.
left.
I've paid off my ticket now because I did
Sunday, I
the
think. Oh, so much I
6-month
did.
thing. I did the 6-month thing, so I paid mine.
Oh, that's good.
Mine's
So have I
done
done.
and dusted, yeah. So
I was so concerned by that because, like, that's the first year I did. I normally just buy it outright. And I was like, I'll just let it take over.
Yeah.
I remember messaging you kind of going, has that happened? I'm pretty sure we should be paying.
Well, really, they send you an email every time. So
Yeah, they do,
somewhere you've
yeah.
got an email, that says every single time they're going to charge you. So, yeah, no, done now, done and dusted.
Good.
So all paid for. Nice.
So 3 of the 4 of us are gone.
Yes, well, we'll sort that. As we say every time, don't worry. Like tickets will come up close to the time. We'll figure out. And we'll get Danny a ticket.
Anyone who listens to this that's gone to Bloodstock, hit us up.
Yeah, hit us
Put
up.
me in your suitcase.
I do need to check my tint at some stage. Make sure it's waterproof. Probably useful. It should be, but when you're packing something up and you're hungover and can't be arsed, then it's
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
you can
It'll
throw it
be
all
fine.
back together and go, I'll deal with that after.
I'm hoping it's another one of like the 40-degree Bloodstocks anyway.
Oh, I
I
really
don't know.
Where you
hope
just
so.
sleep outside, 'cause it's
Yeah.
that hot. That's what I'm hoping.
You want to get a suntan?
Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Everyone else dying of fucking sunstroke.
Nah, fuck that shit. I was right out there.
Yeah, so I listened to that in fun this last few weeks.
I listened to the new Mugshot single. Mugshot are a really interesting band. They kind of started up as more of like a kind of like definitely kind of more punk, but like hardcore punk band. And they've like slowly turned into like a really heavy, like definitely more like I guess kind of extreme metal band.
Yeah.
Their new single's really good. Listen to that. That was good. Funny enough, because of you guys talking about Machine Head, and then there was Machine Head in
Machine Head was on the
some wrestling
wrestling,
promos, and then I went back and I've been listening to more Machine Head.
It was on the wrestling promos?
Yeah, and we were like, oh, it's a new Machine Head song, and then realised it was a song from
It came out,
2014.
No, sooner than that. It was 2007.
Oh, right, no.
Oh, so,
it's like Sail Into the Black. It's like from the Blackening album or something like that. Yeah, and it was like, fuck. So yeah, been listening to some of the new Machine Head songs. You were talking about it. They are really good. Enjoying them. I'm really looking forward to seeing them at Bloodstock.
Watching Bone Scraper, the latest one.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I see what you mean. It's definitely a bit more kind of. It's almost like kind of fun. It's just Machine Head going like woo, like
exactly.
You know, fucking wah! Like, yeah.
It's not just a real technical riff. Like there's just a bit of chugging fun in it.
I just forgotten how impressive they are as a band and stuff, you know, and how they kind of somehow managed to do. I mean, let's be honest. It's like they got the stadium rock presence and song structure and epicness, but without ever becoming a stadium rock band.
Yeah,
they kind of stayed a metal
they still
band.
melt your face off.
Yeah. What about you, Jen?
What I've been listening to, I don't know if you've already spoken about it, but I've listened to the new Quality Circuit album.
Oh yes,
Very much enjoyed that.
it is good.
Yeah, I really like the vocals.
Yeah, the whole thing works really well.
Yeah.
I had the sneak before you became one of the team members. We had it the preview before it went out to the general public.
Oh, I see. I didn't get in with the
You were about a week too late.
week too late.
Yeah, it's good. They've done a good job of that. It's solid.
No, it's a good album. They should be really happy.
And I like the fact that they're doing the second one is coming out like later in the year. And it's in essence it's a full album, but it has 2 EPs, which is a very good way of doing it. And
also it works for the modern climate of you
Yeah.
know, needing to release more stuff more regularly rather than just one thing.
Yeah.
Like once every like now and again, basically. You know.
Makes it a bit more relevant, I think, actually do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think as I think I've even said this before. Like nowadays, like you know, even the bigger bands know, like maybe release an EP, like of like 4 really good songs and really push them, and then save the kind of big album for when you've got like maybe more of a concept that you can really form an album around and sell it as a concept, you know.
Or you're taking a time off from touring or something. Or
Yeah. So no, good for Quality Circuit. Obviously, we've got a bit of Metal to the Masses talk coming up, haven't we?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a new POD album on. I've mentioned it in the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Check it out, it's good.
The heavy
Definitely.
POD album, yeah.
And a real mix of stuff. I also had Anterior, which is a band that stopped operating like 2012 kind of thing. They're kind of melodic death trash, kind of that kind of crossover.
Nice.
They were way ahead of their time. I don't really know why they split up, but it was a shame. And then Legion, that's I think how you say it. It's spelled weird, it took me a long time to figure it out. But they're like a brutal American technical death metal.
Nice.
Like really fast. So there's POD and then stuff to melt your face. It's it's all good.
Some good
So, yeah.
face melting-y songs.
You do love a bit of
that
face
was it. That was it. That was the other thing. Is the drummer in the band that me and Jen are in likened my vocals to I couldn't believe such a throwback name. He was like, "You sound like the lead singer of Send More Paramedics," and I suddenly had one of those like memory moments of like, "Oh yeah, remember them?" Like, yeah, it's like proper. They were like a zombie themed. Like, it was from, like, the Gallows era. They're, like, a UK band. It's, like, that kind of Gallows, I guess, what gets called the kind of Gallows era of UK kind of hardcore punk and punk rock. But they were, like, a zombie-themed, like, kind of hardcore, like, punk rock band.
Did you go back and listen to Martin?
I did, yeah. Have you ever met the Zombie Crew? Zombie Crew! Yeah, so, yeah.
Zombie Crow.
Zombie Crew.
Ah,
Yeah. So,
that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, it's good.
Speaking of Crow, watch the remake of that movie.
Oh, God.
So bad.
I've heard terrible things.
So fucking bad. They've ruined every aspect that made that movie iconic. It is so bad.
When did the remake
last
come out?
year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to not a lot of fanfare and got buried pretty quickly because it
Oh, okay.
was
So
terrible.
not worth watching.
No, absolutely not. You
Even
will.
if it's got the Skarsgård kid in it.
Bill Skarsgård. One of the Skarsgårds. I think it's Bill.
There's like fucking 5 of them now, isn't there? So.
They're all actors as well.
Yeah.
Very good actors. So you'd think that would be enough to save it. It wasn't that.
No.
Like, there's all sorts of weird shit going on in it. They try to go away from the gothic alternative side, and the way they try to get him to wear the makeup and stuff is by saying that his black eyeliner is the blood of the raven.
Okay.
You're like, what's the what?
You could just be a goth.
Also,
that would be fine. Like you could, like that's what made the original good.
pretty sure crow's blood isn't black though.
Yeah,
So it doesn't make any sense.
Nah.
This is a weird man that's possessed by the devil. He can make people kill themselves, which was obviously not in the original.
Yeah.
And they went into a dance vibe instead of rock and metal. So.
Yeah, so just like you said, stripped out all the things that kind of made it like a cult classic. It's kind of like the way that they kind of did that remake new version of The Craft a few years ago, and it was just a massive letdown because it just missed all the kind of 90s goth witch nostalgia that made The Craft what it was as a film.
I hate when they do that. It's just like...
Don't fix what ain't broken.
Well, exactly.
It's that, but we live in the era of content and slop, so it's like, oh, it's IP. So The Crow's IP, so we'll make a film. We won't make an original film, we'll make The Crow. We won't make an original film, we'll remake The Craft. We won't make an original film, we'll remake. Everything has to be existing IP now. Like everything, has to be, you can't just make a new thing. It has to be, we'll get this IP from this thing and then we'll
redo it.
We'll redo it, yeah.
We'll make some money off it because people will like the original and go, oh, I should probably go see that.
Well, it's like I watched the new Beetlejuice movie and I was just like, it's not that it's that bad, but I just forgot it, like, straight away. It had none of the charm of the original, really, It's just trying to create a load of lore around stuff from the first film that didn't need any lore in the first place. The funniest bit about it is, of course, the actor who's the dad is like persona non grata now because I think he's a nonce. Is he a nonce? I think he's a nonce. So they had to like vanish him allegedly. The dad from Beetlejuice. So they had to like vanish him in like a weird animated sequence. That was like the funniest bit. That was the most memorable bit of the film. Yeah, but it's just, I couldn't really tell you any of the actual like real story beats of it because it was just it was just there. It's like, fine, cool. There was a Beetlejuice sequel. It's not as good as the first one. Will I remember it? No.
Well, remember the first one?
Yes, exactly, because it's got memorable moments. But yeah,
shame. Anyway, a bit of a sidetrack. Should we go on to some gigs we've been to? As we've been to, I've definitely been to quite a few.
What gigs have you been to?
I have been to Heriot. Been to Metal Masses.
I went to Heriot.
Ghost. And that's it.
That's it. Okay.
So yeah. So you want to start?
Well, we all went to the first one. Let's do them in chronological. The first one we all went to was Metal to the Masses, wasn't it?
Well, Heriot was before that. But
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's talk Heriot then.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. Oh, yeah. I'm totally losing my time. Yeah, you're right.
So Heriot was the day after we recorded the last one.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Tom bought me a Heriot ticket. It was very sweet of him because obviously on the last podcast I was like, I don't know if I can go. I'm not sure if I got the money. But yeah, Fleece sold out. So it was Heriot, Grove Street and
False Reality,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, False Reality came on. There's a lot of people there. It was great. It's a very Bristol crowd. Recognised a lot of people. Heriot are kind of hanging around. Obviously, like I said, they're kind of a Bristol band because one of their members lives here, and it was just really nice. It kind of felt quite celebratory.
Yeah,
in that sense of
there was a good buzz around the place. Everyone's talking to each other. Everyone kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
It was quite good.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, Bristol band does good kind of vibes to the whole gig, which was nice. So when False Reality come on, they were fun. Kind of straight up hardcore from London. Kind of very
trash infused, I would say.
So slightly thrash infused, yeah. But what's the band I'm thinking of? Fuck, I've totally forgotten the band I'm thinking. Stray from the Path? No, it's not them. No. Kind of a bit of Stray from the Path though, a bit. But yeah, kind of really classic-y, hardcore kind of vocals and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed them. They're a lot of fun. I'd definitely watch them again if they were online.
The two-step thing made sense during their set.
Yeah, they've definitely got the more straight-up two-step hardcore thing going on
you could just hear the riff and you could see the movement and kind of go, now I get it.
Yeah. The crowd was already kind of going for it a bit. It was good.
Was it them that fella got annihilated into the pillars? Or was that next band?
No, I think that was Grove Street, wasn't it?
Well, you turned to me and was like, I'm actually concerned.
No, that was during Heriot. That was during Heriot.
I'd be concerned too, those pillars.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Like I told you last time.
You could basically just see the lights and the shadow of the sky getting absolutely twatted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
and you're
I just saw it in Like, yeah, it was just the mosh pit for Heriot, and I just watched, it was like a silhouette, and I just watched this kid head bang down, and I watched this other guy's head come up. I watched the kid's head go back, and there was like a spray of liquid, and I was just like, and then he like ducked out of the crowd, and I was trying to follow him to see if he was, he had to bail out. I'm not sure if he broke his nose, but yeah. He was just in like all silhouetted in green light, and, just like,
and just a liquid spray from his face. What could
Yeah,
that be? Sweat,
sure.
obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, so then Grove Street came on. I really like Grove Street. Obviously, I talked about them before when I
They
saw
didn't do
them
much for me.
They struggled. I mean, they had like 3 songs where they didn't have one of their guitarists.
Yeah.
Because their poor guitarist just had his guitar
Absolute
just
mare.
decided not to work.
Yeah.
After halfway through the first song.
Oh,
So
that is rough.
he
And
was
basically,
trying-
the other guitar player turned up, and then he was like, why am I even here?
Because
Kind of thing.
they know they've got. They know. Well, it's they know they've got a set time.
Yeah.
They tried to give him a bit of time, and
We need to play a
and then
song,
they realised,
so-
we're just going to have to crack on. And in the end, I think he had to run backstage and borrow somebody else's guitar
Yeah.
and just plug it in, basically. So he managed to come back in for the last like song and a half.
I mean, they didn't really adjust the volume or anything, but it was just...
No, basically, it happens. It happens at gigs. Not all gigs are perfect, But I really enjoy them. They're kind of like a fun kind of crossover band. They've got fun vibes. They always kind of get the. Pardon me. They always kind of get the crowd.
He just died a little.
Just butts, I mean,
They get the
yeah.
In Heriot.
Yeah, and then and then Heriot come out, and they're just fucking awesome. They're just so fucking heavy and so just instrumentally tight,
It took me a while to figure out why they sound so crushingly heavy.
Yeah.
Because their riffs are actually quite slow. But
Yeah.
what they do is they fuck around with the drums and the beats in the drum.
Yeah.
So basically every fill that he does is matched in the guitars.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes way more
Whenever
sense.
you get that dent, it's like the
He's
drums
hitting exactly-
and both the guitars and the bass.
Exactly.
So when you get a dent in a Heriot song, it feels like it's kind of been punched in the face
By
because
everything.
Everything's just gone boom like that. You straight
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Took me a while to figure it out, but I also like the fact that they only did like 45-minute set.
Yeah, they didn't outstate it. They didn't go like, oh, we're a headline. Let's do. There's something to be said sometimes for a 45-minute set from a headliner.
Yeah.
It's like, and let's be honest. Also, they are a little bit newer. They've only got the one kind of main album. It's like they'd have.
They
to
don't have
probably
an hour and a
flog-
half of a
Yeah,
set
they'd
list.
have to probably flog some of the older stuff that maybe they don't want to play anymore. That doesn't sound like, because they have musically progressed quite a lot as well. So
Yeah.
you don't want to do that.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just moving my chair. Just because I realised I can't, because otherwise I'm like craning my neck trying to look at you and look at Jen at the same time. I just thought they were amazing. The
Yeah,
crowd
they're really
probably
good.
went for it, and what's funny is for like a slower band, like the mosh pits are still crazy.
Just crazy energy in the crowd for him.
Yeah, and rightly so. Like I said, it felt very I can't say it again. Celebratory.
Yeah. I enjoyed the way
what they've
people were
achieved.
going to go stage diving and then they didn't commit to it fully. So
Yeah,
they stood on the stage and then kind of slowly stepped
people
off.
It's people getting scared when they're up there. The problem is, obviously one is, if maybe you don't trust the crowd and you feel like they're all just going to try and move out the way, and then two,
Not more embarrassing
yeah,
than
I mean, really,
You sound
if
like
you're
you're
going to,
speaking from experience.
I am speaking.
Catch me!
No. I mean, really, what you need to do is the proper hardcore tuck and roll ones,
Yeah.
because that forces people to catch you because they don't have enough time to move out the way. So that you literally then you will have a soft landing because other people's bodies will
Yeah.
just catch you. So
Whereas
that's
if you
the way
belly
do
flop it, people just step out of the way.
And if you stand up there for too long and kind of wait, that doesn't work. You just
Yeah.
need to jump up, you run the stage, and you just front flip off one
And
of the
hope for the
monitors
best.
and hope for the best.
One fella did annihilate his ankle though.
He did. I saw. Yeah, he had to get carried out, didn't he? Yeah.
He was
yeah.
given socks, to be fair to him, but
Yeah. I think he trod on something on stage. Or
I think so,
something behind
yeah.
His foot on stage. He was probably had to have his sock off and everything. He had a hole in his foot or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a brutal gig.
Yeah.
for him,
Yeah.
we had a good time.
Well, great time. Yeah, me, you, and Finn. It was good. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. Really solid gig.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was good.
Really
So-
happy for Harry. I'm really excited to see kind of where they go from here. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously they've probably got a really busy summer touring schedule, but
It was nice to kind of have them acknowledge the Metal to the Masses thing as well. Like Debbie would like turned around, she was like, last time we played the Fleece was at Metal to the Masses, which we didn't get through there.
Yeah, she did say that, didn't she? Yeah.
And she said, now we've come here and we've sold it out.
Yeah, we sold it
Like,
out. Yeah, which is really
Pretty
nice.
badass feeling, I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, she was quite humbled to be up there, I think.
They're all great. They just seem like really nice people as well. Like, they all seem really
There
fun.
was a stage that I was walking down, because obviously I was there because I'm there for Everton, and they were kind of pottering around their van that they had.
Yeah.
And like a dad was bringing his kid in and recognised her. He's like, "Oh, can we have a picture?" She's like, okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You want a picture of me? Why?
Yeah.
It's really
nice,
quite
isn't
cool.
it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was an excellent gig. Really good. Fleece is always good. Good selection of beer and good bands.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Bristol Crow brought it. So.
Yeah, they did this time, not in comparison to the Raging Speed-On gig that was there.
Yeah, exactly. So Bristol, you come back up onto the ladder of respect. You're now at level 1.
Right then, should we go metal to the masses next then?
Sure.
All right, Jen, do you want to kick us off?
So before we go on, this was the last heat of the Bristol Metal to the Masses. And it's the first time Team Fuel from Our Fire, nearly as a whole, one
Danny
of us decided
Danny
to
was
bail.
almost there.
Shame on
Sorry.
you.
We'll do it one day. It's like the other band I'm in, Old Gods. We still haven't managed to have. We've been a band for a year and a half, and we still haven't managed to have a band practice that has every single member in it. No, I had practice with them.
That's a little embarrassing,
I
yeah.
hope they're listening. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, get your axles into
They
the...
don't listen to the podcast. They don't care about anything I do.
Good thing you have another band, a better band.
I didn't say that. But
So yes, Heat 4 of Metal to the Masses.
This one, I guess I'll also say this is another one where we really didn't know any of the bands.
No.
No, so we really didn't know anything about any
Didn't know
of the...
what we were getting. And
No, we didn't know, yeah.
So, yeah, first band on... So, we go through the bands that were there. So, it was Monochrome, Archimori, Treus, Ascaria, and Vulture God.
Yeah.
That was the order as well.
That was the order, yeah.
So, should we start with Monochrome?
Go for it.
Jen, do you want to kick us off?
so Monochrome. What have I got on my list here? First
We're very
note,
professional. We took notes and we're all looking at our phones now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, got to take notes. Got to be profesh.
It's the only thing I take notes for.
My first note is yes, I'd watched them at Bloodstock. So
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
That's a very good start.
Yeah, they were super heavy. It was almost new metal-y.
Yeah.
I got some Corn vibes.
Yeah. I definitely got some new metal vibes. I mean, in the lead singer's
Funnily, I got
vocals and stuff.
grunge off it. I was getting Kurt Cobain off the guitar player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
also have
mannerism.
a note that surprisingly they weren't using extended range guitars. They were that heavy that I thought that they were using like 8 strings and they just weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, very heavy band. Very cool. I wasn't a massive fan of the clean vocals, but I'll be honest, I never really am.
Yeah. I thought I was going to bring that up because I think there was a bit of not a sound issue from the sound people, but I think, especially with later on in the gig, it definitely felt like maybe that was a bit of a inexperienced thing of the singer not asking to have their vocals put up properly.
The
because
nerves
then
come in first and...
every other singer came on and the vocals were loud as shit, so it's like he's actually kind of having to stand up and go, can you please turn my microphone up?
And the rest of the bands did it. They were just like, I need more of this in the monitors, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have very cool outfits on as well, so we'd love to see that synergy on stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
What outfits did they have?
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but the notes said they had cool outfits.
I think it was, they were all kind of slightly, not matchy, but they kind of all dressed kind of similar.
Like that caught my eye, but...
Rock, like kind of like grungy, like new metal vibes. But yeah. No, I really enjoyed them too. Yeah, I've kind of put down like kind of metalcore, new metal. One of the younger bands, but really going for it, like, you know, especially when we were talking about the last heat on the last episode, I kind of mentioned stuff about seeing the nerves come through with some of the younger bands. These guys just went for it. Like, they really, they didn't kind of, like, they didn't give a shit, but they didn't give a shit about, like, you know, do we look cool or do we do this? And then by doing that, ended up looking really cool, you know, because they kind of, lead singer, really enjoyed them, really fun, really good vocals. I kind of enjoyed the range. Again, like I said, I think they just needed to maybe stand up for themselves when they were sound checking and just be like, can you put my microphone vocals up? Like, I need some more sound in there. It's that really interesting mix because it's funny enough, a band, because the guitarist was doing a lot of that wow, like the kind of weird like kind of bits that are slightly Korn-esque, but I'd say when it comes to like newer music, I'd say almost more like Alpha Wolf, if you guys have listened to them.
Can't say I have.
They do a lot of that kind of like weird guitar like kind of bits like, and then the kind of thundering beat down kind of slightly metalcore, new metal beatdown. So I'd actually say Alpha Wolf for me is probably a band I'd kind of liken them to a little bit, but with clean vocals in there rather than just it all being kind of heavy as shit. That's me. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, for me, I didn't think they were the best of the night. They were The vocalist I just didn't really get on with. I thought she was good, but it just didn't really do it for me. They had too long of gaps in between songs as well, and every song they had to tune, so it was a real stand there in silence, which kind of killed their energy a little bit, which is a shame.
I didn't notice that as much. Why didn't I don't know.
Well, they did have a backing track, so that's probably why you didn't notice, and that's why I'm a massive fan of backing tracks, because then you avoid it being completely silent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't. Yeah. I don't know why. I didn't. That didn't focus in for me as much.
So yeah, I don't know if it's just they had new strings on the guitars or whatever, and they were working them in, or every song's in a different tuning. But I thought it was odd they had to tune between every song. Like you
That
shouldn't
is a
have to
habit
do
you
that.
should get into.
You shouldn't have to do that.
Well, you shouldn't have to,
The
but
guitar should stay in tune for you.
look, I went to music school, okay? We were told...
Sorry, la-di-da.
La-di-da. We were told whenever there's a gap, you've got to check you're still in tune.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can see the logic.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get energy in a crowd of people who vote for you, I don't know if that's the...
Well, you could argue then that's the lead singer's job. you
Yeah,
know, to
true.
be the one to sort of the front of the stage, kind of egging people on a little bit. You know,
Very true.
It's either that or you do the thing where you play weird like interludes in between to
Yeah.
to play into the next song. You know,
True.
So,
So, yeah, I kind of said they had a crunchy guitar tone. There was a lot of effects going through it. But they had some nasty breakdowns and they're nasty and good turns.
Yeah.
Lead guitar player gave me some Kurt Cobain vibes, like the way he was bent over his guitar and kind of making it squeal. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's very... And they were kind of grungy,
Yeah.
slightly metalcore.
I wonder if
kind
that's
of industrial.
Remember, I said last time about that kind of feeling that, especially with a lot of these younger bands, that you can't seem to get away from this Deftones influence that seems to be kind of in, because there was definitely definitely if you're talking about Deftones' more nu metal era, you could easily argue there's a bit of that in there.
True.
You know, it's like again this kind of Deftones influence that really seems to be going through a lot of the younger bands at the moment.
Yeah.
They were definitely one of the better younger bands that we've seen.
Yes,
throughout
out
the
of a
years,
lot of them, I definitely put them right, kind of at the top of like.
Yeah, you two really enjoyed them.
I did, yeah, I did.
Yeah. For me, I was like, they're good, but let's see what the rest brings. And then the rest of the evening, I think, blew them out of water.
I think that night was like that for all of us, really, like because it was just like
I think it was the best
really
heat,
didn't know what to expect.
to be honest.
It was
the
most
best
difficult
heat.
to vote for.
Absolutely.
You know, for sure.
It was legit. I wanted all the
Yeah.
bands to go through.
Yeah.
It was also nice to see such a solid band as an opening band.
Yeah.
You know, like you can kind of tell with the openers, they're usually the like least experienced in a lot of the other
Well,
heats.
funny enough, we can actually shine some light on that,
We
can't
can.
we? Because we chatted to I've forgotten his name. Nick, yeah. And he was, and obviously now it looks like we are going to have him on the podcast hopefully soon. So
Yeah.
Nick is the main guy who, thank you, Jan, is the main guy he's like the main guy who sets up Metal to the Masses for Bristol. And he told us that basically, and he tells all the bands this way in advance, the more effort you put into advertising and pushing the gig, the more likely you are to go up in the
Closer to the headline slot.
Closer to the headline slot, basically. And then he says if all the bands equally do it, then it's like drawn out of the hat, basically. So that's why I'm
Which is
guessing
fair,
a
I
lot
like
of the
that.
bands, I think it, you know, and it gives the bands motivation to do that. You know, it's an important part of still doing this is advertising the show.
Absolutely.
But I think then it kind of then goes to show like maybe some of the opening bands that we've seen, you know, the reason that they're a bit ropey is maybe because they're newer and they haven't
a bit naive and...
you know, so yeah. I thought they were a really solid, good opener.
Yeah, I agree. Next band, unless there's any more thoughts on Monochrome.
No.
Arkamori.
So,
Jen?
do you want to kick us off? Because obviously you know
I do.
Arkamori.
I know Arkamori very well. I'm good friends with a lot of them. I will say it was very lovely to see them all on stage again together. I know that Heather hasn't really performed since we were in Cybervoid together. So it was really lovely to see her get back up on the stage in her absolute element.
So Heather's lead singer.
I loved her tested vocals, like the thing we were just bringing up about going through the monitors and everything. She came in and just roared, and the crowd like, whoa! She's like, oh, I'm sorry, did I scare you? I was like, oh, this is going to get heavy quick.
She had her own microphone set up though, didn't she?
She is an experienced veteran.
Yeah,
yes.
so she was like, I'm not leaving, not to be once again mean to sound people, but I'm not leaving this up to the sound writer. I know how I want my microphone to sound, I know how I want my vocals to go through it, so I'm going to have like my own kind of
do it
myself. That's which is totally fair enough.
Yeah.
Obviously I know Heather a bit. I know Dalen, the drummer, because he's also the drummer in Smarmore.
Yeah.
And I've tattooed him a couple of times, really nice guy. So what did you actually think of them?
Well, I know. Well, I feel really bad. My opinion's biased, right? Because I'm a good friend of hers. But I do know that they didn't have very long to put their set together.
That was their first gig together, right?
That was their first gig together.
First gig on stage, wasn't it?
And I think the reason that they did as well as they did is because they are all veterans of the metal scene and they have been gigging for a very long time.
And they're all very talented musicians.
They
so
are
put a
all
bunch
very-
of
yeah.
talented musicians together, it goes well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, they weren't as polished as the other bands.
Yeah.
But they knew that. But still, again, their music, it was cool. It was very... I don't even know how to describe it. I want to say... Not math rocky, because that's absolutely wrong, but it
I
had
put it
some
as-
industrial elements to
I was like
it.
quirky mathcore is how I put it.
Yeah, I put mathcore in my notes as well. There's definitely kind of elements of that with the guitar.
With
I
the
felt
guitar,
there was
you
some.
can...
Yeah, and I've kind of put like kind of tech metal E with a lot of Y's kind of afterwards, like experimental but not prog. Like, there was like kind of interesting timing signatures, kind of playing around with the guitars and stuff. I thought it was
And
really
they used
cool.
a lot of the kind of machine gun style riffs.
Yeah.
So like, you know, the double bass section of one, you know, the diddle. There was a lot of that going through, which I quite like.
I liked it as well. I think I agree with Jen. Obviously, like I'm also aware that they've kind of, you know, very, very kind of quickly got on this not band together to a certain extent. And the veteran kind of thing definitely saw them through. Obviously, I have to be completely honest, there was a couple of timing issues that you saw them kind of...
But they recovered quick.
Really.
The experience shows.
Barely a glance at the drummer and it's kind of back, but you did notice a few, like, in and out bits.
Yeah.
And apparently it wasn't the bassist super new as well. He's even newer. Like they had...
the bassist, they had to get... I think he's only been there for about 3 weeks, so...
Yeah, so he's had to
Well,
learn.
he did well.
He's had to learn the entire... And he did, and he was really cool. And that was the other thing. I like that the bass was really quite loud.
Yeah, really felt true. It was quite nice.
Because you only got one guitarist and one bassist, but it's that thing of... As similar in a way to what Cruelty Circuit do, which is almost have the bassist as like a lead. Like
it's not just the rhythm in the background.
It's not rhythm in the background. It's like part of like the kind of frontal energy of the noise. So I really like that as well.
I thought the drummer was kick-ass. What I like, having seen him in Smile More, his style is very different in two different bands.
He's a very talented drummer, and it shows through in the fact that he actually plays the drums very differently for what bands he's in.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't just go, "This is my style of drumming," and then just plays the same way for like every band that he plays for. Yeah.
I was quite impressed by that. I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
And then Heather's vocals up front, really good. She's got loads of
deck rolls going on.
Yeah, really like guttural vocals, really cool presence. You know, like on stage and everything. Yeah, I thought they really rocked it. Like, you know, Jesus Christ, if you told me, oh, here's your new band, your first gig ever will sound this good and go this well, I'd take it now.
Absolutely,
I'd take that as a win right now. I'd go, yep, cool, brilliant.
Yep.
You know, because I've been in plenty of first gigs with first bands and they don't go that well. They definitely don't go that well. So yeah.
The only kind of downside thing I would say, they're all very good musicians. They're all very technical, very knew what they were doing. But the kind of quirky side of it, with messing around with the timpans and stuff on the drums, I liked it for one aspect because it was new and it was different kind of thing. But like, if you listen to a riff and stuff, you'll normally go with like the snare or bass drum or something, you can bang your head to kind of. But because it was just kind of all over the place, a bit erratic, I was kind of losing.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because, like we just talked about, Heriot, who are very, very good with their kind of erratic time signatures and making it work. So it is a thing you've got to get kind of exactly kind of right, otherwise it can get a little bit chaotic and stuff in there.
It confuses your brain.
Yeah, but once again, I mean, look, let's be honest. I'm really excited to see. I'm hoping that this is kind of like their galvanizing moment, and they obviously keep gigging.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. You know, like hopefully that's exactly the kind of stuff that they'll iron out by playing more gigs and
absolutely
doing more stuff. You know, so yeah.
Any other thoughts on them?
No, I think that was it, really.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay. Next band were Treos.
Yes.
As we're in the roll, Jen, do you wanna drive?
Yeah.
So, Treos. My notes say, I don't like the vocals. The next note, wait, yes I do.
Hilarious. Brilliant.
Can't even blame alcohol.
But no, they had a lot of big riffs and big breakdowns, big
they
energy.
did, yeah. Very chuggy riffs,
very
chunky.
chuggy riffs. And yeah, they used the stage very well as well. I remember him like jumping up and looking down at the crowd. I don't really know what genre I'd compare them
to.
I was thinking Heart of Coward.
Well, yeah, so I was gonna say, like, It's so funny. So didn't the lead singer actually say on stage the last time we did this was 6 years ago or something? So they're obviously a band that's been going for a while, or maybe like splitting up, a bit like Cruelty Circuit, like split up and got them back together again.
Yeah.
You know, they felt like such a blast from the past for me because the way that all those boys looked on stage, the kind of age group they are as well. So like my age, you can tell they're all like in their late 30s, and I was like, this is proper. Like I thought they were going to go full gent, and then they didn't. They went more the new Heart of a Coward. But and also like I just brought up about like that kind of Gallows era. It's that 2007 to 2010 like era of like slightly hardcore, slightly that kind of gent sound with the big
slightly decory with the breakdowns.
Yeah, with the breakdowns, the kind of big breakdowns, and like just the way they were all dressed, the haircut, especially the guitarist. He just like. It was just like, I was just there going, wow, I literally feel like I'm 10 years younger. Like watching
Thank
this
you,
band.
Jess.
And not in a bad way. They were really good. Like I really enjoyed them.
I really liked them. They were one of my favourites tonight, actually.
Yeah. I did really enjoy them, but they were definitely really good presence. Really, you can tell that they've probably, probably toured a lot before. It'd be interesting to kind of find out a bit more about them. Maybe this is their kind of them coming back together, and maybe they're going to start touring again. But yeah, I honestly thought they started playing that first song, and I honestly thought that guitarist was just going to break into a full-on gent riff. I really did.
The fact he was playing a headless guitar as well.
Yeah.
I was like, this is definitely going ginty, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Their guitar tone was fantastic. I'm pretty sure they had 51.
They sounded really good as well. They were probably one of the best sounding bands of the night, like kind of levels wise. They got that really sorted. So yeah.
I tried to follow them on Spotify and didn't have anything on there. Which
no,
was a shame.
I mean, like I said, it might just be like that maybe they're an older band from back in the day and they've kind of just decided to get kind of started up
get the crew back together again.
Yeah.
Find their old Bandcamp.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be
Find their
MySpace.
Yeah, they were, it's the only way to describe them, was like really strong, always in time with each other, really enjoyed the show.
No, they were sort of like
they were having fun.
Yeah, I put here that they've had a full set, and in my head that just means you've performed the entire thing.
Yeah.
You've got on stage. It's imagine that you were doing a play, you've got on, you've not broken character, you've done your entire set start to finish, like that's what you want to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Come out, slay people, and then you could be the nicest person afterwards and kind of go, I know, I've got a beer. Yeah. There wasn't much to say about them, really. They were just really good. Really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
It's simple as. Next one was Oscaria.
Yes, so
which was Jake. Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Mr. Bristow.
Mr. Bristow. We know him from the Gryphon well. He's well known in the metal scene. Go on then, Jan.
I loved Oscaria.
Yeah, I did as well.
I love a bit of doom metal.
Yeah, it was
Black and Doom.
Black and Doom. I am a sucker for some Black and Doom.
Yeah,
and also it really surprised me seeing, friendly little Bristow.
Yeah, because obviously for the listeners, we know this guy, he's kind of can be quite shy-ish, like, blah, blah, blah. And we were intrigued, so we were like, oh yeah, this is Bristow's band. And we were kind of talking a bit before, like, what is this going to be like?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We kind of knew what the genre it was, but we were like, what is he going to be like as a vocalist? Because they're a three-piece, obviously he plays bass and does vocals. And his
vocals were incredible.
Yeah.
It was like he was summoning every demon possible.
Yeah.
And once again, another vocalist who knows, wasn't afraid to put a shitload of distortion on that microphone.
Yeah.
Wasn't afraid to have a shitload of to give it that real death, black metal kind of sound. Like not afraid to kind of, was obviously knows what kind of microphone setup he needs to get that to work. Yeah, I really enjoyed them as well. The one nitpick I had right at the beginning though was they had this really cool entrance where the music, the lights all went off, and then they had that choral entrance, and then it was building up, and you were like, okay, cool, this choral bit's going to end, and they're going to go straight into the first song. And instead, the lights came up, and Jake said, "Hello, where?" A star, and I was like, "Don't talk now, man.
Start the friggin' riff."
The fucking choral's still building behind you talking. Just shut up. Let the choral bit, and then. That's one nitpick there, guys. You've got to let that bit play out and just play the first song. Don't introduce yourself after you've played the first song.
On that same note, though, it was really nice to see a band who had spoken to, the light guy.
Yeah,
and said,
and,
can we have
like,
these lights?
True, yeah.
And actually ask for a bit of a setup with that. Obviously, like, is it okay? Yeah, can we have the lights off while our intro builds up?
And I guess everyone could have done that. They were just smart enough to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they even changed the colour. Everybody else had red lights. I noticed they had blue ones.
Blue
it was
did,
almost
yeah.
like kind of a freezing moon mayhem moment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It was a very cool vibe. The guitar player kind of cracked me up a little bit because he was heavily influenced by Matt Heafy of Trivium. Like he was wearing Trivium t-shirt to start with.
Yeah.
He was playing the same guitar, but all the mannerisms are exactly the same. Like
Really?
standing with your foot up in the monitor, tongue out, just the one headbang kind of thing,
Well, he's obviously a fanboy. He's like
absolutely.
Yeah.
You could see his influence a mile away.
A great artist steal his moves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Their drummer was good as well. I don't know, like, obviously, and I mean this if you're listening to this in the nicest way possible, you are a massive unit of a person, Dan. I like that in a drummer. I like a drummer who dwarfs the drum set slightly, properly gave it a really menacing air. Really good.
The last note that I said, against my notes against him, is like, these would do very well at Bloodstock.
Yes,
if you walk past that tent and you heard him growling the way he was, you're like, I'm going to check that out.
Absolutely.
I would also say, like, we have to be honest, really, out of all of these heats, they're the only, like, black metal band.
Yeah.
They're the only kind of in the heavier range of metal that's been on the entire thing. The other thing I will say, though, kind of is, if any of you know the old Bill Bailey bit that he used to do in his comedy set way back in the day about how Darth Vader couldn't have had his original voice because obviously he was played by the actual person who played Darth Vader in the original films was a Southwest person. The Force is strong in this, and you're a traitor with the Rebel Alliance.
Doesn't quite have the same impact, does it?
That happens as well with black metal. Like, you're right, everyone. This one's called Crawling in the Amoebus Amorphous Death Doom.
Of Satan.
Of Satan. Like, Jake's accent, I love him to pieces, but that Bristol accent, just like, trying to kind of conjure up despair and death and the meaninglessness of life. It's just a bit like, life is a meaningless, chasmless void. Right, thank you so much, guys. I enjoyed that. I was grand. It's like, it is funny. For those listening, there is a very funny game you can play called the Southwest game, which is you take any song from any genre of music apart from English folk music like the Wurzels, because obviously that doesn't work, and you sing it in a West Country accent, and it has to not be funny.
I think we should try that on the podcast.
You can entertain yourself with that song. Give me a song. I don't know.
Ra
ra ra ah ooh ra ooh la la gar gar dirty romance. See, Danny's dying. It works every time.
And that's the song you win for.
Yeah, okay. Lady Gaga's classic. Lady Gaga. With an R.
Gaga on that mind.
Gaga on that mind. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Final thoughts, Oscaria?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Would like to watch them at Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Would go into that tent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd actually go to see him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
no,
not like
I'd
just
take
stumble
time out of
across.
my day.
Yeah, I would actually go see him.
Yeah.
Last band in was a band called Vulture God.
Yeah.
And I
really
remember,
didn't know what to expect from this lot, did we?
I was just saying to you, I was just going to say, is like, when they came out, I was like, I've got no idea what to expect here. Like, one of them in corpse paint, one of them looked like he could have been in a surf band. I was like, this could go anywhere.
Yeah. One's got like heavy eye makeup on, this, that, and the other. He was just like, these guys could be like an I Prevail style metalcore band. They could be a punk rock band. They could be like, I really didn't know what to expect. And then they started playing.
And they were none of those.
I was really impressed. Another band, really kind of hard to explain what genre they are. I mean, it kind of...
They had a bit of everything in there, from System Down to Beyond Creation to Kajira.
Funny enough, Bill from Cruelty Circuit leant over and said, like, this sounds like if Sepultura were a mathcore band.
Yeah.
Which kind of works as well. Like, really weird timings, really... I mean, definitely, I'll be real, there's definitely big stoner rock elements here. Like, if you listen to Red Fang, well, Red Fang have that, so maybe there's like, if Red Fang were way more mathcore, it's kind of a bit like that, I would say. I really enjoyed these guys. I thought they were fun. I thought they were interesting. I loved all the crazy riffs and the structure.
They were definitely very creative with their songwriting.
Yeah, really creative. The drummer is fucking brilliant. He's so good. Such a good drummer.
I particularly enjoyed the lead singer.
Yeah,
his
pulling
weird movements and faces.
Because he's obviously one of the guitar players as well, or the bass player, I can't remember. But like, he's pulling like weird faces on each side of the microphone. And
like all these kind of robotic things in time with his own song.
Yeah. Like,
it was really quite cool.
Yeah, and you could tell they were all having a really good time up there.
Very technical band as well.
A little bit shoegazy in certain places. A technical term there, listener.
They had all sorts going on, like harmonising guitars with two-handed taps and all sorts of things going on.
Yeah, just like it really was like throw everything in the kitchen sink at this and kind of see what comes out.
But it wasn't so random that it didn't work.
No,
it all flowed together really well.
Yeah, it's definitely funny enough what we said about not Astaria, Heather's band.
Oh,
Arkamori. You know, when you said about like maybe they haven't got those timings quite down yet and it makes it a bit messy. These guys, they've got it down.
Absolutely.
I really just enjoyed it. And I'm sorry, listen, it's just really hard to explain what these guys sound like. If you can go and find them, Vulture God, go and find them and listen to them, because it's the best way of explaining it, really.
That was one of my points as well. I was like, I would love to actually see a full set by him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I would go to see him play a headline.
Yeah, 100%. I'd go and watch these guys again. 100%. I'd really enjoy it. And a bit like Heriot, they're one of those... Oh, funny enough, we kind of missed this from the Heriot thing, but it's like... Remember we talked about this? It's like Heriot are such a weird band because they could almost like play in any show. They could play a hardcore show, they could play a death metal show, they could play a stoner rock show, they could play a doom show. They could play... Vulture God definitely, for me, has a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
You could kind of throw them at any gig...
And they'd do well.
The crowd would be like, oh, these guys are cool.
Yeah.
You know? What did you think, Jem?
No, I really liked them. They were very tight. And yeah, like I said, they had just really good creative riffs. And then, again, on the notes, their drummer is incredible. Yeah. Very good drummer. It was also nice to see a Thunderbird bass. You don't see those very often.
No,
very, very nice to see. The crowd was moving a lot for them as well. So the crowd was going crazy.
The crowd moved for quite a few of the bands.
Actually, I've got that in quite a lot of the notes. But it was a really good crowd that night.
Yeah, the crowd was really up for it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. My only qualm was at the end. I don't know what was going on with Mr. Sound Guy that night, because the first two bands were dead quiet, and then by the time Vulture God had come on, they were so loud.
His vocals did get... It's almost like everyone has slowly turned up while the night had gone on, and like there was some bits where his vocal fry was kind of just... It was just kind of... His mic was turned up a little bit too much, and he was screaming into it a little bit too close, and it was frying his vocals a bit.
And obviously that's not against them, that's against whatever was going on.
It's like, you just need to get some of the levels right there, don't you? Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
So yeah, it was a very tough heat because we enjoyed all the bands.
Yeah, I think kind of going into obviously like who we voted for and all this stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, this was a really difficult one. I really liked the first band, and I mean, I'll go first about who I voted for. I ended up voting for Jake's band. I voted for Astaria in the end because I just really enjoyed them. And yes, maybe there's slight bias there because I do know Jake. We are friends, but also like.
They were just good.
Like, they were just good, but also, like, I did really feel like they deserved it. Like, and I really didn't know what to... I honestly almost voted for the first band. Monochrome. And Vulture God kind of had that thing, though, where I kind of, like, I would have voted... If you put a gun to my head and said, vote for the best band of the night, I would have voted for Vulture God. But I was kind of like, Vulture God are going to go through. Even if they don't get the votes, the judges are going to put them through because they're too good to not go through to the semi-finals. Yeah. So I was kind of a bit like, right, I'll leave Vulture God, and then it kind of became a toss. But I did like the other, the other bands, Arkamori and Treyas as well. But definitely for me, it was the first band and Astaria that stuck out. Ascaria. And so I ended up going with Ascaria in the end. I just really liked them. I thought they was really good. It was like, maybe it's also me being a bit biased that I just wanted a bit more black metal representation in there. Yeah. Of like, because they are the only kind of like blackened like heavy band.
Black and doom.
They are a bloodstock band.
And there is that as well, like, you know, and probably a bit of bias because Jake is a friend of mine as well. But I really did almost vote for the first band
Monochrome.
too. I thought Monochrome. I did really, really enjoy them. I thought they almost got my vote. Yeah.
Jen?
I also voted for Ascaria, and same as you, really. Like, honestly, at first, again, like I said, when it was Bristol and didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I guess there was a little bit of that bias that I knew in, but that band just stood out to me. Like that for me is a Bloodstock band.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this earlier. It's also really nice just to see somebody who's so involved in the metal community at Metal to the Masses for the Bristol, representing Bristol as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, if that, like I said, Black and Doom, that is me.
Yeah.
Loved it. So
it was good.
Yeah.
I was really torn. I was literally between 3 bands, so it was Treus, Ascaria, and Volchgrad for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who to vote for, and literally before I put it in, I was like, and last minute I went for Treus actually.
No,
it was just my jam. I was like, I couldn't flaw them. They did everything perfectly. They were brought energy, they were fantastic. So the bands that got through were Monochrome,
the first band,
Ascaria, and Volchgrad.
Yeah.
So well done all.
That was. I got to be honest. Quickly talking about that, that was pretty surprising. Like I got to be, good for Jake. Obviously, Ascaria, brought enough, or like not even maybe brought that many, but like won enough people over. I was surprised that
Monochrome
beat the others, and I'm really happy they did, and I'm really happy that they're in the set. I think I really like you guys. I think you're a really good band. I've got to be honest, kind of get that Heather's band didn't go through. Like, they're great and all, but like, it's their first gig. Like, you know what I mean? They need to basically get a bit of a fan base together and then kind of come back and try again next year.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that Atreus, the band that I thought that they were a bit of a shoo-in. Like I thought that they were going to probably go through.
I hope they won the wild card, to be honest. Could be a shame.
They could be. I mean, maybe the only reason they wouldn't be is, once again, we keep on talking about the thing of a Bloodstock band. They're maybe more of a download band than, do you know what I mean? Like, they're maybe more in that neck of the woods, but they could be one of the could be a wild card. But yeah, I'm really happy that what happened. But I've got to be honest, these heats are tough because Volchgrad are good. Like, I love Cruelty Circuit. Like, everyone knows we're a bit biased here. I would like Cruelty Circuit to go all the way. I've made that pretty clear from the beginning. That I really like those guys, and I will be voting for them in the future to try and help them to get through. But Vulture got it. And buried it. I was saying my big 3 out of all the first heats. I think it's Cruelty Circuit, Vulture God. What's that band that you guys saw? Because they have a massive following. They always bring Mandagora, and Buried in Bermuda. Like that's 4 really heavy hitters that have a lot of fans and are really good. So it's these other bands are going to really have to step it up. Like, as much as I love Jake, they're going to have to really bring it to go through as one of the next ones.
Kind of brings me nicely onto the point I was going to bring up later, but I'll just do it now. So on the 11th of May is the first of the semi-finals.
Yes.
And they've announced who's playing at each one now. So in that particular one, we have Ascaria, Vulture God, Calvaria, Mandragora. I can't ever get their name right.
Mandragora.
That's the one, thank you.
I could be saying it wrong.
Yeah, we're just saying. They're listening to it going, for fuck's sake, not again.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Into Obscurity and Twin Skeletons. So you got a real mix going on there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, 3 of the bands that you have just put in your top one same heat.
And only 2 can go through, so,
Is that what it is? 2 from each semi?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know.
We were trying to figure this out last time. I can't figure. Is there 3 semi-finals or 2? It's just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah, so it's got to be 2 from each one to make it 4.
Yeah, I guess so.
Doesn't it? Yeah, because otherwise it would be 1 band against 1 band in the final, which wouldn't make any sense.
True.
Yeah, so it's 2.
Must
2
be.
bands. Yeah. And
then I don't know how the
I don't know where the wildcard factors in. But once again, this is all stuff we can talk to, hopefully, on one of the soon podcasts.
Yeah.
We'll have all of this explained to us, so we'll understand fully.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Because out of that list, I don't know who I'd want to go through.
Yeah, it's really tough, isn't it?
I'm already torn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yes. Metal to Masses, final thoughts.
I mean, yeah, good. I mean, it's been fun so far. I've really enjoyed it. We enjoyed the bands that have gone through. Really excited to see the semi-finals, and we'll go from there, really, won't we?
Yeah.
Start seeing, this is it. The semi-finals are the big ones, starts really whittling it down.
True. We're going to lose some mighty fine talent from it.
Yeah.
But even if you do lose, look at Heriot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the easiest. Look, what would Heriot do? Become one of the biggest up.
Become bigger than
bands.
us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys been to any other gigs?
Yeah, so I went to a very different kind of gig. For those of you that follow us on Instagram, would have probably seen it pop up.
And if you don't follow us, follow us.
Yes, please do. Please do. Funny
yes,
updates.
Please do. I work very hard on that.
So I went to see Sea Power, formerly known as British Sea Power. Who
Is there another Sea Power that they have to change their name?
No, I don't think so. I think they decided to change the name. Maybe just take the British out of it, but I don't know. They've been going for a very long time. Not very, very long, but they've been going for quite a while. But it's very different kind of electronic folk kind of outfit.
Okay.
Now, the reason I went to see them, it was very interesting going to this gig because it was very obvious who was there as an original Sea Power fan and who was there because of the video game Disco Elysium. That British Sea Power did this. Well, they didn't do the music. Their music gets used, is like the main music for the game. Disco Elysium is an awesome game. If you haven't played it, you should play it. It's one of the best games of the last 10 years. Fucking great.
That's the one I played.
Yeah, I tried to show it to you, and then you said it was too complicated after 1 minute.
I got confused.
I don't know how you got confused.
I'm a Sims player.
Yeah, exactly.
As you can probably tell.
Everyone should play Disco Elysium. It's absolutely brilliant. It's the weirdest RPG you've ever played in your life. And yeah, music's great. Funny enough, these guys, just quickly, obviously, it's a bit of a jokey review because not a metal thing at all, but really heavy. I was like, I wasn't wearing my headphones as ear protection because I was like, it's like a folk gig, I'll be fine. It was at the Trinity. I was like, I'll be fine. And then they built up to these really I was like, oh god, I had to put my ear protection on. I was like, these guys got heavier. These big swells got heavier than some metal bands that I've seen recently. I was like, Jesus Christ. The only other thing I'll quickly say, which was very funny, is I haven't had to be around a crowd like that in a while. So it's been a while since I've gone to a very different, especially that kind of gig. How can I put this nicely? Upper middle class crowd are an interesting bunch. We're going to.
So you fit right in then.
Oh yeah, totally. Definitely didn't get a lot of weird looks, being pretty much the only heavily tattooed person there. So very odd. Everyone's pseudo complaining about the fact they were at a gig and had to be around people and were at a show.
I paid for this. I should have my own
why am I getting any form of inconvenience? Queue for the bar was horrific, and so many people just trying to do that middle class thing where they just wander up the queue and then go and then just try and cut in and then go, oh, there's a queue here. And
then just stay there anyway.
Yeah, and then because they're just being so fucking oblivious about the fact they might actually have to wait for something.
Yeah.
And then the funniest bit was I went and stood. I managed to get not the front, but kind of forwards a bit for stuff, and I literally stood there, and then I got a tap on the shoulder, and I turned around. This woman goes, "Oh, sorry, can you move to the side? Me and my partner can't see the stage." And I was like, "Okay." And I went and stood off to the side. And I get it. It's fine. I had my little space. It was the other great thing is no one wants to stand. No one wants to do shoulder to shoulder. Everyone wants their own space. So I
had boundaries and they're half a mile wide.
Yeah, I was really close to the front of the stage. And I had all this room around me. I was like, "The fuck's going on?" But yeah, and then literally I moved off, and 5 minutes later, 2 big bald blokes came and stood exactly in front of that couple.
Brilliant.
And I really wanted to lean over to them and be like, "Bet you're missing my 5'5" ass right now, aren't you?" Just be But just this weird kind of It's an odd, very different vibe from a lot of the gigs that we go to. But yeah, so fun gig. Disco Elysium rocks. You should play it. It's awesome. And yeah.
Don't take the metal crowd for granted.
Yes. Even the hardcore lot, at least when they spin kick each other in the face, there's an air of camaraderie about it, not an air of whinging at a manager, which is definitely what this gig.
There was a lot of Karens there by the sounds of
it. Yeah, definitely a few.
Yeah, I also have a kind of parody one, kind of fun one. So it was at Ghost on Easter Sunday. Ghost being banned in Gryphon.
On Easter Sunday?
Yeah, the day before the Pope died. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't J.D. Vance that killed him, though?
No. It was apparently Papa, whatever his new name is. Whole thing, it was a good event. So there was no support. It was only Ghost playing. Yeah. They played for nearly 2 hours.
Wow. Talking about it's nice to have a 45 minute.
Right, so it's quite a difference.
It's 2 hours of Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
thank
nice.
fucking
That's
Yeah.
all right
I was
then.
going to say.
Yeah, we're all at that age. Like, could we just get seats? Because that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And also, like, Ghost Crowd obviously isn't going to move because
Yeah.
you know it's not exactly lively.
Yeah.
But yeah, to give them credit, like it was a fantastic stage show that did. It was staged because it's the new character.
Yeah.
Like the first time you see him on stage in his full anti-pope outfit, he was on some kind of platform that basically levitated him over the top of the stage.
Wow.
And he just stood there in this monstrous like outfit, and you're like, that's actually pretty badass.
Yeah, of course it is.
And then they had like the entire backing of it was all screens, but like the screens kind of were interactive with each other. So there was stage like they do a riff kind of thing, and like all the stained glass windows would like collapse in it and stuff.
Oh,
and
cool.
That's
Proper. I mean, Ghosts are definitely like a show.
exactly.
Band, aren't
Yeah.
they? Like, you know,
Theatrical.
And they do that to a T. Like it's good watching them. It's quite good fun. But they did a no phone policy, which I'm totally fine with. I don't like phones at gigs anyway.
So is it one of those ones where you have to put it in the little
Into magnetic
bag?
pouch.
Yeah. See, I'm not fully against that either. Like, you know, I think it's gotten a bit of a bad rap recently because obviously you have like a lot of mostly in America, like the really conservative comedians have been getting people to do that, and the kind of argument is so they can do not very nice material without getting cancelled.
Yeah,
exactly. But you know, it would be nice to go to a gig and not have to stare through a bunch of people's phones.
Exactly.
And you know, there is a big argument about it's going to keep you a lot more present if you're
there to
not
enjoy
on your
the
fucking phone
experience,
all the
and
time.
and like
a
you
lot
can.
of it is also for the visuals. Like when I went to Tool, I'm pretty sure the reason was because it would mess up the visuals. Like
having loads of lights everywhere.
Maynard said, right, this is the last song. You can get your phones out for this one, but it's going to look like shit.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough.
But no, I agree with the no phones thing. It's quite. I feel like I remember gigs better when I'm not looking through my phone.
Yeah.
And you never actually look at those videos again.
No, see, that's why funny enough, I've only really started filming stuff for the podcast.
Yeah,
so what I
likewise.
try to do is, if there's a really cool bit of a band, I film like 10 seconds of them and then stop and put my phone away.
Yeah.
And I don't post it on the socials until in between bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I really, totally, I try to stay more, I like watching bands.
That's what you paid for.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You know.
So yeah, I was quite glad of it. The only downside of it was meant the queues were quite long to get in.
Right, okay.
So like
everyone's having to have their phone put.
The gates were at 6 o'clock and they were supposed to come on at 8. They didn't come on till like 20 past 8.
Right.
And there were still people coming in.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. All right, they've got to speed that process up somehow then, don't
Yeah, but
Where
like
was
it was Birmingham, the Utilita.
Birmingham.
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 Yeah, stage show was really cool. My only gripe with the whole thing was I thought the whole no phones thing was because they introduced a new fella and they'd have a bit of story about it and killing off the whole character and so on and so forth. They did none of it. They just came out on stage and started playing. I was like, okay. Other than the kind of levitating above the stage thing. Yeah, then we woke up next day and the Pope was dead, and then immediately everyone's like, well, there was a Pope just playing, so
Yeah, it's taken over.
I need to learn a fact. Do you know what the Pope's hat is called?
What?
A mitre.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something.
It's a pretty cool name for a shit hat, but
Yeah. A shit hat. Special car.
yeah, he does a special car. That was coffin, but anyway, or horse. Ooh,
Yeah.
I went there.
Ouch.
Meow. Anyway, yes, Hail Satan. Right, shall we? Any other gigs we've been to? Anyone else?
I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. So
A good collective there.
yeah.
Shall we go to what's coming up?
Let's go for it.
I'll start with. So this comes out on the 2nd. On the 1st is the official first day of it, but it's the Beastly Bristol event here at the Gryphon.
Yes.
It's a 4-day event. I won't go into the first bands because you'll already missed them by the time this comes out. But on the 2nd, there's a lot happening on the 2nd. It's bank holiday, and
Another bank holiday.
we're spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
So in the Gryphon, we have Trasher Wolf, which is obviously trash. We've Martyr Saint, which is like a crossover trash, and a band I can't pronounce. I've got absolutely no idea what that's like. Try this: Rakshas. Rakshas.
I beg your pardon.
I know.
Rakshas.
Raksha.
Ruff, 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 ruff.
Anyway, they're playing.
Yeah.
Couldn't find that on them because obviously it's a word I can't even say.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, we have the Eastern Punk Festival on day
Yes.
1 of it. So there is a heap of bands playing. Do I want to go through them all again?
No, you already did, I think. I mean, you can, if you're listening to this, you can go and look up the Eastern Punk Festival.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's enough stuff of it everywhere, and it is like all dayers and stuff. So yeah.
3 bars in Easton,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's the Red Lion, the Chelsea, and the Plough. Yeah, so it's all like I said before, yeah, that's going to be messy because you can get hammered for cheap.
And wonder, is it a ticketed thing for each pub, or is it?
I don't know. I actually don't know the setup. Whether you just buy one ticket, you get a wristband or something, you can go into all of them. I actually don't know the setup, but yeah.
You going to tin? Seems like your type of thing.
Yeah, maybe. It's an interesting because I would like to go to some of the beastly stuff though, to be honest as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough. It's one of those it's a bit of a tough decision. I might have to kind of see how I feel on the day, really.
Well,
do I want the metal or do I want the punk? Yeah.
Or do you want the hardcore? Because on the same day,
oh god,
you have Perp Walk.
Oh yeah.
Don't Try, Blood Feud, Still in Love, Predeceased, Demeanour, Without Blood, and Knife Bucket.
Yeah.
At the Exchange.
Yeah, that's another really good show. Fuck's sake. Everything's happening.
Spoiled for choice.
Spoiled for choice.
Quite literally, yeah.
Shouldn't really complain about that, especially like I said, like living in buttfuck nowhere for so long, not having any music whatsoever, and now I'm just like, oh, what massive, really cool gig should I go to?
Oh, I got 3 in the same bloody day.
Oh.
The next day, the 3rd, Beastly Bristol Day 3, which is Nurture, which is a psyche, prog, grunge, but apparently they got some humour going on as well. Stone Soup, which is kind of blues rocky doom. And Iran, which I couldn't find that on them. So
Iran?
Iran, like the country. If Duran were playing the Gryphon, I think
that'd be awesome.
that would be a weird guest spot, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's the Gryphon. On the 4th, also in the Gryphon, because it's a multiple day event. We have Recall the Remains, which is kind of metalcore / deathcore, kind of like Lamb of God and Whitechapel kind of combined, that kind of level. So pretty cool. Paradis, which is metalcore, and Centaura, which I wasn't able to find anything on. But I'm guessing, judging by the others, it's probably a similar kind of style.
Nice, yeah.
So that's day 4 of the Beastly Bristol.
So wait, that's the Saturday or the Sunday?
That's the Sunday.
That's the Sunday, wow.
So the Saturday one is the psych proggy grunge ones.
Yeah.
So a good old mix of everything. So as we say every week, come to the Gryphon, support local.
Yep,
support
local.
this fine establishment.
Yep.
Awesome
or to be fair, support local at the Exchange or support local at Easton, because that's very
all of them.
DIY. Yeah. That's very it's all support local. It's all great. The fact that we're very blessed to have a music scene that's this popping with so many different things going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally over that weekend, you can do everything from metalcore up to stoner rock. So
exactly. So
choose what you want.
Like oi punk. So
Remind the O2 that local's better than them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck the O2.
Shall we, as a tradition?
Oh yeah.
Well, 1, 2, 3. Fuck the O2. We're going to get in so much trouble whenever they listen to this. I mean, it's an opinion. You can't tell me off for an opinion.
Exactly.
And everyone else in Bristol thinks the same. Anywho, moving on. The 8th of May, we have one of the bigger ones, which is Caliban. I mentioned them months ago.
Yes.
Which is like German metalcore. They have like 14 albums.
I
didn't realise they were that. Yeah.
I love it when you find a band like that, though. It's like when I saw The Ocean at Damnation Festival. I was like, oh, this band's cool. And then went on there. They've been going for like fucking 2 decades. They've got like fucking, like 7, 8 different albums out. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's fun, isn't it? With support from In Heart's Wake, which is Australian metalcore.
Nice.
A Symbol of Chariots, which funnily enough we took the piss out of many years ago. Months ago.
Which one were they?
Because we said that it sounds like it should be metalcore. They are not.
Symbol of Chariots. Oh yeah.
They're Finnish symphonic deathcore.
Wow. Okay.
Did not expect that.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that's at the Fleece.
Cool.
I still think there's tickets for that if people are interested.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised to see Caliban back because I remember seeing them when I was like 12.
God, yeah, they've been around for a while, haven't they?
They have, and then they disappeared for a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, bands get back together, I guess. It's the era for it.
Need money.
Yeah.
Pay for the kids' schools.
Yeah.
9th of May in SWX is Make Them Suffer.
Nice.
Which is kind of Australian metalcore / deathcore. They're kind of.
I've seen them before. They're really good.
Kind of border bottom because they got some kind of nasty breakdowns in there, don't they?
Yeah.
With Resolve, which is again metalcore. And we have Conjure, which is quite a old name at this stage.
Yeah.
That's more sludgy.
Yeah.
And then If Not For Me, which again is metalcore. So that's SWX on the 9th of May. So that would probably be quite good too. The next day, there's just fucking heaps happening. Frog Lord, which won Bristol Metal to the Masses last year.
Last time. I think they're going to play the final. There's normally the winner of last year plays the final of the year after. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
With Warp Stormer, which is a great name.
That's so Warhammer old fantasy. I love it. That's Skaven.
Stoner Trash is what they are.
I love it. They better be Skaven themed. If they're not, I'll be very upset.
And Kraken Waker.
Oh, there you go.
That's a name and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of Stoner Groove kind of style.
Cool. Sounds like a good night.
So that's at Moore on the 10th of May. What else do we have? Metal's Masses have already gone through.
Yeah.
Which is on the 11th, so that's a Sunday, so everyone get your asses down there.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the Exchange. And the last one I will mention, just because I know what's happening at the next one, so we should get that in there, but the Electric Eel Shock on the 17th of May.
Yeah, I need to get a ticket for that. They were so fun last time. It was so funny. It's so nice with this band from Japan. It's got this weird link to Bristol and just comes and plays the Gryphon like every other year, basically.
Why not?
Yeah. John has also done a commemorative T-shirt, which has a very, very cool design of Electric Eel Shock riding a Gryphon, kind of like a manga style. So if you want a commemorative T-shirt, then you should definitely check out the Gryphon store or come in the pub and grab one.
Yeah, they'll definitely be on sale.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And as we keep saying, support local. So, you know.
Has a store?
I think so. Well, I don't know if he just sells it. I mean, I don't know if you have to. I think you can buy stuff online from him. I think I say that. I actually don't know.
I don't think so.
Does he have a band coming? No, maybe I'm totally wrong. You have to come in the pub to buy a T-shirt.
And a pint. And buy us one while you're at it.
Yeah.
Because that stage you'll be back drinking. So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and you'll be thirsty, you know.
Wow.
A month without alcohol. So the 1st of May you're getting wrecked is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
And then you're going to go and spend a whole heap of money at Beastly Bristol or Park
yeah.
Walk or Punk Festival
or try and go to all of them at once.
So yeah, I'd probably leave it there for now.
Yeah.
Just because time, but also there's no point in saying stuff too far ahead.
Yeah.
You guys have anything you want to add?
Yeah, actually, on the 23rd and 24th of May, I know some people putting on this Thrash Zone gig at Basement 45.
Oh yes, the Thrash Zone.
Raised by Owls. How do you pronounce it? Dias Holocaustum? You know the band. Yes. You know them. And some others. Beer Cannon.
Hang on.
Most of which I can't read because metal.
School.
Oh, he's got a flyer.
Well there we go.
We have Acid Age, Fracture Point, Chemical Storm, Priest Crippler, Exorcism, Beer Cannon, Imperium, and Devastator.
Nice. Yeah.
Is this a new thing? I'm seeing a lot of Thrash now.
Thrash. We've met him.
Have we?
Yeah, gigs.
Cool.
Yeah, kind of.
Where's Basement 45?
It's literally just down the road. Yeah, it's just down the hill
From where the hatchet.
Opposite Queen Shilling.
Opposite Queen Shilling.
Oh, right.
So literally like 2 minutes from here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They do the Apocalyptica like metal nights there.
Oh, right,
sometimes,
okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Like it's interesting because it's like a lot of smaller rooms because it's kind of like vaulted, a bit like the downstairs in the Crown.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly
okay.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that seems like
Yeah.
That's Bank Holiday weekend as well, I think.
No, Thrash Show is really cool. Definitely, if you're listening to this, you should really consider going. It's really cool. It's really cool.
And that is the end of May.
Yeah,
So
they've been putting in like a lot of hard work at Thrash Show, and they've been doing a lot of really, really, really cool stuff.
Getting big names in as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Raised by Owls is, I know they've played here before, but it's still a big name.
I'd love to see them again.
Wasn't that when you broke your toe? Nearly broke your toe.
Almost broke my toe, yeah. And then won a circumcised survivor T-shirt. Off them.
Nice.
Nice.
So moving swiftly on, unless there's anyone else got anything they want to
I
bring
think
up.
that's it.
The big gig announcements that I've seen. Motionless and White are back, but not in Bristol. They're doing Cardiff. It's the closest one.
Boo.
Are they on the band list as well?
No, they're not on the band list. They're just booing that they're in Cardiff and not in Bristol.
Oh, I thought they had done something bad.
As far as I'm aware, they haven't been cancelled for anything.
Not that I know.
Not that I've heard of.
I quite like them. They're quite fun.
I like them too. Yeah.
I like the kind of the theatrics they've kind of set up. They've got this legion of followers. That
Yeah.
It's quite cool. But yeah, that's Cardiff on 13th February next year. It's bad that we're already like looking at gigs for
I
next
know,
year.
there was one you said last time as well, wasn't there? The
Whitechapel.
The Whitechapel one. That's
June
not
next
sure.
year.
It's like, why am I don't want to have to think about that now.
Unless it sells out.
No, that's what's annoying. I don't want to have to think about that now.
Yeah, that's next year's problem.
Yeah.
Evil Scarecrow, if that's your thing. They're kind of parody black metal.
Yeah.
They're doing 2 sets. They're doing one here in the Gryphon, which is an acoustic one.
Cool.
And they're doing that the day before they play in Tekla.
Yeah. Evil Scarecrow have got a long history with John and the Gryphon, so that's always fun.
So that's cool. That's your Christmas sorted. That's the 18th, 19th December, which I've got no idea what days they are, but I'm guessing weekend.
Yeah, Christmas, yeah.
Most people will be off. Most people want to go for a pint. So, you know.
What's the dates?
18th and 19th of December.
Friday, so Thursday and Friday.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
So the Thursday is the acoustic set and the Friday is the Tekla set.
Nice.
Which would be quite fun as well. Like,
Yeah.
Tekla's great.
Yeah.
One that you sent me, Teo, so I'm going to take the reins
go
off
for
you. Terror.
Yep.
Straight up hardcore band.
Yeah, one of the big ones, one of the big original ones, yeah.
So that's 17th of June in Tekla.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
Tekla as well is going to be
Yeah.
pretty mental seeing them, especially with the rest of the lineup that's on there, I think.
Who else was on it? I didn't see who else was on it.
Fuck! You put me on the spot now, but I think they did announce some of the lineup stuff. I don't know. It might be that they've kind of been out. I don't know who's playing at what shows though. So that's the only thing. So they'll get it all more sorted. But yeah, I do really want to go to that, and Tekla will be a lot of fun to see them. Terror, like a bit like Madball, you know, it's like
cool,
one of the kind of
Originals.
original kind of like heavy hitting guys. Yeah.
Assume David will be there.
Yes.
And then the last one I have in terms of big ones would be we came as Romans.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And they're being supported by Brand of Sacrifice. Which is a badass name, even though I don't know who they are.
I've heard of Brand. I've heard that name going around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are they? Don't say a band, because obviously.
Black metal.
Are they?
Yeah. Brand of Sacrifice.
Just in case you didn't hear Danny, she said they're black metal.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be quite good.
Yeah.
I mean,
We Came as Romans are very like that kind of clean cut metalcore kind of
Yeah.
thing. So you know, there's a couple of their songs I like though.
they do a cracking version of Taylor Swift.
Oh, I've got that on my playlist.
We had
That's
it on
one of
our
the things I
wedding
know.
playlist.
Yeah. Blank Space, isn't it?
Yeah. They do a really good job of that. So for me, I think that's all the big ones I've spotted. You guys have any others to add?
No, I haven't seen anything like.
Nothing new.
No, not any of the big stuff. No.
Relatively quiet one, then.
Well, you say that now, you know, like fucking more things will always get announced. You know what it's like.
True.
Know? Yeah.
True. Right, so we're at that time where we're going to do our Metal News Corner. Woo! Someone do my guitar solo. Come on. Jen, bass solo.
No.
Oh. I'll do it. Dung 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 dung
Did I?
dung 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 dung. We love bass players. You're great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're up there after drummers.
Wow. Okay,
Ooh.
don't start a turf where you don't want to finish, Tom.
All a bit of fun. Right, what do I have in the news corner? Fear Factory are back in the studio.
Woo!
Recording the first album.
I love Fear Factory.
Recording the first album with the new singer.
There you go.
So, and apparently Dino's come out and says basically, if you like the old stuff, you're going to love this album. Cause
Okay.
That is brilliant news.
yeah,
That's very good
It's
news.
Well
good.
done, Dino.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be playing some of that on the, because obviously there's Bloodstock and then there's also Bloodstock. They're playing an album from start to finish, aren't they?
They're doing demanufacturing its
Yeah,
entirety.
Oh, that's
but
gonna
then
be so
the because you're going to see them with Kerry
King.
King, aren't you?
Yes.
So am I.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's going to be fun
It'd be
to do.
interesting to see if they play some of the new stuff by then.
Yeah, I would wonder if they were going to actually do more of the kind of... Is Kerry King before or after Bloodstock?
After.
After.
Okay.
It's literally Bloodstock and that, like...
The week
And
after.
then... I don't even think it's then. I think it's like, you know, finish Bloodstock and then like the Wednesday, maybe?
So maybe they will do it as well. It's a very close gig, so...
Yeah.
Sold out now, or
What, Fear Factory?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I hope it's not.
Have you got your ticket yet?
Mama Joe is getting me my ticket. Thank you, Mama Joe.
Nice.
Might want to get on there, because I don't know if the tickets hang around for that for too long.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Anyway,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
Good news for Fear Factory fans.
Yes, and I think all of us here have a soft spot
Yeah.
Yes.
for Fear Factory.
Yeah.
Other news, I only have a few bits of news. The bass player from Catholic Capitation has quit
Oh.
to focus on cryptopsy. Cryptopsy? That's what
Cryptopsy?
Yeah, quite cryptopsy, yeah.
What's that?
His other band.
It's a band. I was like, I thought he like got into a science.
No.
I was like, I was like there going, what is that? It's the,
it's another,
cryptozoology. He's getting into. He's going to chase around after Bigfoot or something.
So Cryptopsy.
Oh, that's reminded me. I think one of the guitarists from Kubla Khan has left.
Yes,
Yeah.
Health issues. Can't play the songs live.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Is that a muscular thing or is that?
I don't know. But yeah, I did see something about that pop.
That's got to be gutting. Like your band is getting huge. You wrote all the music and you can't play it live anymore.
Yeah. It's really sad.
That's got to suck.
Yeah.
But apparently there's no bad blood between them. They're all.
Yeah,
he's done several years with them, and it's just you can't have two touring bands.
Yeah. And he wants to focus on the newer kind of thing. And
it's not the newer; it's his original one.
Is this? Oh, right. Okay, that makes it more sense then. Yeah.
And I think one of the funniest metal news aspects on the internet is some fella in Qatar decided that he was going to buy a guitar from Sweetwater or whatever the guitar shop is in the US. I think it's the US. Only for it to be sent to Jim Root of Slipknot.
Why?
Because the courier company's completely fucked it up. So he phoned and kind of goes, where's my very expensive guitar gone? Because, I was kind of expecting it. And it seems to have gone somewhere else. Yeah. And like, okay. And then he found out that it was actually sent to Jim Root of Slipknot.
Wow.
Which is bloody amazing.
Did Jim Root give it to him?
The question's unanswered. They don't know.
Jim Root's like, wow. Because I think as soon as you accept the delivery, it's technically yours then, isn't it?
I don't know.
If the courier company fuck up, I think, isn't there something that's like...
Probably.
I don't know if there's a finders keepers law with...
I hope he signed it and sent it back to him. That would be pretty badass.
Maybe he thought nothing of it. Maybe he's like,
another guitar.
Throws it on the pile of guitars that he has in his house. It's like, fuck's sake. Like,
we've moved on from bras on the stage to guitars.
Yeah, it's full bizarre.
So that's kind of my big news, but I thought that one's quite a fun one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the dude from Dark Funeral that we got wrong this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was
just random shite, but yeah. You guys aware of anything else?
So that was a bit of fun. I'm going to get a bit serious for a second. Obviously, as an non-binary person, member of the LGBTQ plus community, pretty bad news for my trans siblings out there, with the UK Supreme Court basically being dickheads and completely going against what the 2010... anti-discrimination bill law was actually about, and kind of basically trying to say that trans men aren't men and trans women are women. Yes, you are. Always be supported here. Always be supported in the Gryphon. Obviously, there's a lot of protests at the moment. If you can, show some support. If you can't make it to a protest, and it's also a really important time for a lot of our cis allies to kind of also stand up as well and kind of be heard about like how we don't agree with this, and actually we'd quite like for trans people just to have their own lives and be left alone and not to be used constantly as some bullshit political football for basically so political parties can try and make out that they're more bigoted than other political parties to win votes, which is pretty much what's going on here.
So we're not having elections, so it's a bit weird.
Yeah, but it's I mean, look, not to get too deep into the weeds, this is a lot of it is obviously farmed over from America. The right have seen that the whole trans debate, quote unquote, has worked very well in America, so they've taken it worldwide. Obviously they've been doing this for ages now, but they know that it's a stupid cultural issue that they can make hay out of and make a lot of stuff. And our Labour government are a pack of utter fucking cowards who, instead of maybe fighting against Nigel Farage's super right-wing conservative views, are instead trying to pander to them to win votes off him. Because as we all know, people like to vote for people who want to vote fash, are going to vote fascist light instead of just for the fascist that they like more. It's complete bullshit, and it's a really sad time. And obviously I've got a lot of friends, a lot of trans friends, a lot of trans loved ones, trans family, so I know it's a really difficult and dark time out there. Just know that you're not alone, and this is some bullshit, and we'll keep fighting against it. And hopefully I will be announcing I'll be doing some tattoo charity stuff, either for like something like the Good Law Project or maybe Dandelion or something like that. I'm going to figure it out, and I'll let you guys know, and I'll be doing some charity tattoo stuff to raise some money.
Sounds like I'm getting another tattoo.
Hey!
And I'll join you on the charity day with piercing.
Oh, nice. That'd be really
I'm
cool.
getting pierced as well then.
Hey! But yeah. Anyway, you're all loved. You're all valid.
Gryphon.
Come to the Gryphon. There's lots of trans people here. Normally drinking too much.
Well, yeah, it's
there you go.
Yeah, go on to
That's right. Yeah, no, sorry. I said at the beginning I was going to talk about Disco Elysium. I was going to get political. We're going to talk about wrestling. We've done all three now, so it's all good.
So what's left?
Yeah, well, that's it. I think it's album review time, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
All right then. Album review. Black City David's album review. Album review. Hit it, Jan.
Baseline.
Hit it, Jan.
No.
Don't leave me hanging, Jan.
No.
Come on, Jan. Don't leave me hanging.
If you're a bass player, I'm so sorry.
See, Jen's a bass player and she's giving us daggers at the moment.
Blue moon.
Anyway.
So this week, David has given us a very nice outing. It's by a band called Celestial Sanctuary.
Celestial Sanctuary.
Which I had never heard of before.
Once again, say it in a Bristol accent.
I can't.
Here,
Celestial Sanctuary.
we're a Celestial Sanctuary. This next one's called Swallowing the Rotten Seed.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, all the black metal bands out there need to...
talking Bristol accents. Yeah.
This is not a black metal, this is a death metal outfit.
Yes, it is.
They are from Bury St Edmunds,
Okay, well, America.
UK.
UK.
I think.
Wait, but Barry St Edmunds?
Bury.
Berry.
that?
B-U-R-Y.
Oh.
Where is it?
that?
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea.
You're asking the non-English one.
So it's just when you
Yeah.
say, I'm so used to when there's like a place name followed by like another place name, it's sort of like an American thing because it's like a state thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, anyway, yeah, somewhere in the UK. I don't know where, but somewhere in the UK. They were formed in 2019, so they've not been on the scene too long.
No.
They've had 2 full-length albums before this. Well,
Yep.
LPs, but they're more or less full-length.
Yeah.
And this is their new EP, which only came out a year after their last album.
So wait, they've got 3 things out. They've got 2 things out.
This is the third one.
This is the third one. Okay, cool.
And yeah, instead of doing what other bands do, to release something and then sit in it for a few years,
Yeah.
they're just like, here's some more music.
Well, a bit like what we said with the Cruelty Circuit thing, isn't it? Release shorter releases, but more frequently, rather than release one long release and then sit on it for like a year and a half.
Well, unfortunately, with social media, it's almost like you've got to drip
Yeah.
feed your music to people.
We've talked about it before.
Keep the algorithm up, so-
all the algorithm stuff, it wants more releases all the time.
So funnily, when I saw the message from David, it was like, Celestial Sanctuary, that could be anything. And I was like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really give
definitely.
away what it is.
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
you see the album cover.
Of course,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Love
then you're
the
like, okay, now I know what I'm getting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for you listeners, the album cover is very much, I don't know, a demon that's kind of half rotted and is kind of coming through
Yeah,
its
there's
own...
a lot of colours as well. I like the colours.
Yeah, it's kind of cartoony, but it's like, it's coming through its own web, but the web is made of its own body.
Yeah.
I think is probably the best way to describe it. There's eyes everywhere and teeth everywhere. And
Yeah.
It just looks
It's very like kind of Thrasher magazine, proper like, scrawled in a kid's notebook. Like I'm drawing monsters today kind of vibe, and I love it.
Yeah. So you see that and you kind of go, okay, this is going
Yeah.
to be in the brutal death
The
metal.
heavy section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes with the rest of my collection. So yeah, what do people think of it? Okay, before we go on, I got confused in this. So when I listened, it had 4 songs in it, but when I was looking up on the internet, it said 3 songs. So I was like, I definitely was listening to 4. So I don't really know.
Maybe it's a bonus song. Maybe there's certain releases that have it, certain releases that don't.
Maybe.
Definitely listen to 4.
Yeah, I think one of them might be a song from another album they put in it as well.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Sometimes they do multiple different. Maybe there's a physical release that has less or more. Or
Maybe.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, either way, the ones that we all listened to had the same number of songs. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. We've listened to 4 songs.
4 songs, which were called Visions of Stagnant Blood,
Yep.
Puddles of You Reflect the Filth Within, which is a fucking fantastic name.
Great.
Choking on the Rotten Seed,
My personal favourite.
and Gavage of the Vial.
Yeah.
All excellent names. So you see this, you see the album cover, you go, okay, this is going to be fun.
We know what we're gonna get. Yeah, I love it.
Anyone want to start?
Go on, Jen.
I loved it. That was a great album.
Done.
Done.
Mic drop,
we
walk
go.
out, done.
Thanks, Jen, for your deep and wise insight
Oh,
into
you're
the album
See,
review.
this is why I'm on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. It was very tight. There was a lot of I just really enjoyed how I don't know how to describe it other than tight. When just everybody is on the same page. There's some nice stops and they're in tasteful places.
Yeah.
And it makes
It's
it
not just
sound
blast
heavier.
beats.
Yeah. No, like the structures of the songs were just interesting.
I like the way they used the kind of soaring leads, but not as a...
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Like the guitar is almost like classic rock guitar over the top of... So these guitar solos sound really kind of... pardon my pun, celestial, over the top of
it does,
this
yeah.
very just extreme death
metal. It creates
metal,
quite a sinister atmosphere, actually.
Yeah,
because it doesn't come in a normal solo place.
Yeah.
Like, they'll do it like in the verse, and like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that they fuck around with it.
Yeah, same. I mean, for me, I've written just straight from the beginning. Not to harp too much on the review we did last time with the Benediction thing, but this is kind of, it does have some things, kind of exactly the issues that I had with the Benediction album, where I kind of got, I mean, for lack of a better term, a little bit bored and kind of lost kind of thing. This instantly had me, and it has all the things that I was talking about in that, which is like every song has its own groove, its own rhythm,
and it changes throughout as well. It's not just the same riff over and over again. It's not just the same
riff over and over, even though it's like, you know, got these constant like kind of pummeling double kicks and blast beats and stuff.
The transition of which is fantastic as well.
Yeah, there's loads of interesting stuff, like the lead guitar going over the top of that. The vocals are kind of like this constant. The vocals are almost getting you, like he's almost doing his vocals like an instrument. So it's like this constant, just kind of growling, thudding kind of vocal. And it's funny because they sound really fast, but they're not fast.
They've got some doom aspects to them, which kind of slows it down a little bit.
Yeah, but I really, really enjoyed this. And just every song had its own character, but obviously it still sounds like the same band. And you know, sorry, Benediction. The album was good. It was fine. But like with the Benediction album, I was like, oh god, there's another 3 tracks to listen to. With this, I could have listened to another 3 tracks of this easy. If this had been like a 6-track album,
exactly the same.
Like I'd listen to another. I'm gonna go back and listen to these other releases, definitely, for sure. And I just thought really, you know, really like had what I need from this kind of, like, remember when we talked about Pissgrave and you didn't get on with that because it was a bit too, I still found it in there, but like the kind of different grooves and different rhythms and the different songs or the different parts of it, you know, it wasn't just verse, chorus, bridge, solo, blast beat here, like, you know what I mean, it's like this and then it changes into this, but it just works really well for me. I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
I mean, I actually totally agree with you. From the first opening riff, I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And then they've even got the big 10-minute song at the end.
Yeah.
So it's still really like...
I love the big 10-minute song.
Yeah, it really
you don't think it's 10 minutes?
No,
to
I
it.
thought it was, yeah.
It's just something about it, you just listen to it and kind of go, oh, it's just a normal song. And you go, oh wait, that's nearly 10 minutes.
10 minutes long,
guitar tone, it was fantastic. It's really well produced.
Yeah, really.
Everything's at the right level.
The vocals are at the right level. They're not too far back, but they're also not too far forward because...
Yeah.
You know, like,
The vocals, by the way, so, you know, we were talking about Arkamori.
Yeah.
They sound like the same. If somebody had told me that was Arkamori's vocalist on this album, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
I was going to say it kind of reminded me of Elisa from Arch Enemy, but very similar.
Yeah.
Like, it's guttural, but you can kind of make it out. It's not just...
Yeah.
You know, there's... Yeah, it was perfectly balanced. Everything about it was good.
Yeah.
I liked that there was variety in the song. You know, it changed. It didn't just have blast beats and just power through.
Like just like blast beat, solo, blast beat. Like
and they like the first song's probably, which is Visions of Stagnant Blood, which is also the EP name. Should have probably said that. That is probably the more traditional death metal kind of extreme death metal. Kind of like your Carcass, Cannibal Corpse kind of vibes off of it. But then the rest of it, I thought they added more doom aspects, which I quite liked.
Yeah, I mean, I liked. I think it's probably this. Well, I'd kind of go the other. I mean, I had the doomy aspects in there, but I just think the slightly whited, the faster song, which is the, as I've had with many of my ex-boyfriends, choking on the rotten seed. I thought that was my kind of favourite one. Like, if I had to pick a favourite, that's my favourite because that one, they kind of, for me, they added they've got that real kind of. It almost gets that kind of like hardcore two-step. You can hear those kind of like grooves in there, the grooves that you get in grindcore, like, you know, the grooves that you get in things like that. They really kind of use that, so I really enjoyed that.
For me, it was the second song was my favourite. The Puddles of You Reflect the Filth Within, because it's a real chuggy kind of doomy riff going through it, and then you just get like double bass kick in, and it's pretty badass.
What about you, Jen?
My favourite was the last song.
Yeah?
Just the riffs in it and just the structure of it. It was just interesting, you know. And again, it doesn't feel like 10 minutes. I like how we've all chosen a different favourite.
Yeah, which is a good sign for it, really.
Yeah.
My only gripe with this entire thing is it wasn't long enough. I would love to have heard a full length, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be going and listening to some of their earlier stuff. For sure.
Yeah.
So, ratings-wise, what are you saying, Jem?
Out of 10, remember?
10.
It should be 11, really, shouldn't it?
Well, if it's loud
Tune it up
enough.
to 11, man.
Yeah. I mean, it should be.
Let's do 11.
Yeah.
Right, max is 11.
Yeah.
That's going to fuck all the other
Yeah, no,
18
it's-
episodes.
Oh, I would say 7.
Out of 11.
7.5. No, I really enjoyed it. I again also would want to go back and listen to some of their albums. I would definitely see them live. I'm not rushing to go back and listen to it all the time. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you have to be in like a death metal, extreme metal
Yeah,
mood.
no, you
Yeah.
have
I guess,
to
yeah.
have, yeah.
If you're kind of waking up in the morning and thinking, like da 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 da.
Good morning, sunshine. I mean, I'm going to have it in the car going to work tomorrow,
Yeah,
so
me
that kind of goes
too.
out the window, but...
Yeah. But yeah, no. So 7.5 from you. Definitely go see them live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you throw shapes?
Throw shapes, might do.
Yeah. Might throw shapes in the mosh
Come to
pit.
gig with me and find out.
yeah?
It's an 8.5 from me. Yeah, really good. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Definitely go see them live. I'm looking forward to seeing if they end up on any lineups.
They're playing Cardiff, not in the distant future.
Oh, okay. Why only Cardiff? Damn
It's
it.
the place across the way from Fuel, the
Oh,
Ick
okay.
Club, whatever it's called.
Okay. Well, if we can get over there, I'll definitely go. Hopefully, these guys are picking up some momentum. They end up on some bigger gigs and stuff. Definitely a mosh band for me if my old bones can handle it. Yeah, really liked it. Yeah, 8.5. Definitely go see them live if I get a chance. Definitely probably throw some shapes or definitely kind of windmill headbang onto this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd say 8.59. It really was my jam. It was heavy, but it was also the Doom. I think really helped.
Technically, it has the experimentation in which it's not relying on just
Blast
straight
beats.
up blast beats and like whatever.
Yeah.
It's got some real like character. It's got character. All the songs have character.
Yeah,
They have a
that's
story
good,
to
yeah.
tell. Yeah, really enjoyed this.
Would I go see it live? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I am interested to see what their other stuff is
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
If it's on the same vibe, then it's going to be happy days.
It's going to be good. I mean, it'd be interesting. Maybe they started off a bit more as because
Extreme death
like
and-
just kind
yeah.
of more just blast beats, and then they've evolved. You never know though. They might have started out the gate like this, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to check them out. Go see them live. And I mean, you couldn't not throw shapes.
Yeah.
I think seeing them
Yeah.
live, the crowd would probably explode because
Yeah, 100%. Like
it's just the energy that they'd have. I think would just be.
100%.
So yeah, I think that's a good solid recommendation, David. Thank you very
Good.
much.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Black City Records.
Also, happy birthday again.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
So yeah, I think we're kind of at the end now.
Yeah,
Sad times.
that's it. Episode 19. I can't believe it. We've been doing this.
Still going strong. Getting
Yeah.
new followers every day.
And yeah, just to remind you guys, please, social media, Instagram, YouTube, all that. We're hopefully adding a camera feature next time, which will be interesting because, as I said right at the beginning, our next episode is going to be our interview with David from Black City. So,
Yeah.
that'd be really good. Similar to our interview with John, bit of longer form, talk about
Bit of
how
fun.
Black City got started, general bants,
Yeah.
talk some shit,
So be
drink
fun.
some beer.
Also, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel because all the playlists are up there to support each episode.
Yeah.
It's a way we can get our own copyright, so you can go listen to what we talk about, and then
Yes.
you can listen to it afterwards. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Teo. Thank you, Jen.
Woo.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Danny. Thank you, John, as always, letting us do this here. See you in the pits.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.